Welcome to Ethiopia Today. We will be focusing on the following topic on our presentation. TPLF's Getachew argues that the world must condemn human rights abuses in Tigray in a similar fashion as it does in Ukraine. The details are presented as follows, and we invite you to stay tuned till the end to get our full analysis.
TPLF's Getachew argues that the world must condemn human rights abuses in Tigray in a similar fashion as it does in Ukraine, Foreign Policy News reported. We will present our own close analysis of the report as follows. International solidarity with Kyiv in the face of Russian aggression is admirable, and Getachew claims that Tigrayans brutalized by Ethiopia and Eritrea deserve the same. The TPLF spokesperson Getachew Reda particularly quoted the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, saying that if we allow the rules of the international order to be flagrantly trampled anywhere, we weaken them everywhere. Getachew added that many of the principles that Blinken enunciated regarding Russian aggression in Ukraine also apply perfectly to the conflict in the Ethiopian region of Tigray. However, he has criticized the UN Security Council's silence and said that this irreparably undermining its credibility as a guardian of international peace and security. Getachew also claimed that some influential personality and opinion makers in the United States remain enamored of Abiy. Presumably, Getachew said that this is because of Abiy's supposedly reformist agenda and commitment to liberalizing the Ethiopian economy. Getachew picked the former U.S. Assistant Secretary of State Tibor Nagy as an example for this. He said that Tibor Nagy has expressed his admiration of Abiy over his economic aims. Getachew further said that Abiy continues to command a measure of loyalty from the U.S. political establishment. Jeffrey Feltman, a former U.S. Special Envoy for the Horn of Africa, has damagingly emphasized the democratic legitimacy of the Abiy regime. He added, "One unfortunate result has been policy incoherence, according to him." For instance, he said that Feltman strongly condemned the devastating humanitarian blockade of Tigray while strenuously objecting to Tigray's attempt to lift it by force. He continued to say that Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki and their ethnic Amhara expansionist partners have decimated Tigray. Abiy's oft-repeated narrative regarding the Tigray War is that it came about following the Tigray People's Liberation Front TPLF attack on units of Ethiopia's Northern Command in November 2020. However, the Northern Command incident was the beginning, not the cause of the war, Getachew added. Tension between Tigray and the federal government began simmering almost as soon as Abiy assumed office in 2018. As he sought to scapegoat the TPLF for the country's various ills. Abiy saw the TPLF as a formidable counterweight to his centralizing vision, which, based as it is on a rejection of Ethiopia's fundamentally multinational nature. Let's pause Getachew here for some remarks. The current problems of Ethiopia are the results of the path the country passed through since TPLF-EPRDF reign from 1991. It is the belief of not only Abiy but also the majority of the Ethiopian people. The period of TPLF has left an indelible imprint on social cohesion, peace cum nation-building process in Ethiopia. The TPLF followed its own envisaged hidden agenda to deliberately erode the national identity by misrepresenting ethnic identity. They ethnicized politics, politicized ethnicity, ethnicized territory, and territorialized ethnicity, as said on our earlier presentation. TPLF poisoned the national identity in their reign of 30 years dangerously, which is existential threat for the country, needing extra special treatment to restore to its pre-TPLF era. Let's borrow some points from our recently produced video regarding the bad fruits of their divisive period. The spread of hatred, enmity, and suspicion among the whole society of Ethiopia, causing an unhealthy ethnic competition and widespread violence, to mention a few. Abiy took over the messy Ethiopia with chronic national problems from the poisonous regime. We don't expect the infections and the ills of 30 years to be resolved in 3 years. Solving complex problems requires time, wisdom, research, endurance, and coordination, among others. Look the case of COVID-19. On the 31st of December 2019, the World Health Organization WHO was informed of a cluster of cases of pneumonia of unknown cause detected in Wuhan City, China, and then worldwide outbreak, and as it stands currently claimed over 6 million lives and affected the globe in various ways negatively. Although circumstances are showing improvement, the COVID-19 hasn't left us yet, and we have already learned how to live with it. The same is true with TPLF infection during its hegemony in Ethiopia. Getachew continues with another argument. He says that when Abiy used the COVID-19 pandemic to postpone the 2020 elections in violation of the Constitution, Tigray went ahead with its own regional elections. Soon thereafter, Abiy began to bring the full power of the federal government to bear on Tigray, including by suspending Tigray's federal subsidies, he explained. Abiy planned to use force to oust the TPLF, and install a puppet government over which he would have considerable sway, Getachew added. To decapitate Tigray's leadership, the Abiy government was in the final stages of positioning personnel and heavy weapons drawn from the country's 3 commands in late 2020. In addition, Abiy had also given secret directives to members of the Northern Command, carefully selected based on their loyalty to the regime, to prepare for an operation from within Tigray, he continued. Tigray was surrounded in all directions, he says. Since the government of Tigray had timely intelligence regarding Abiy's moves, it undertook a preemptive operation to disarm and neutralize the Northern Command, a move we considered a legitimate act of self-defense. Getachew boldly justifies. Failure to act would have resulted in the total annihilation of Tigray's leadership. The Northern Command operation gave Tigray a fighting chance against a comparative military colossus, he added. Let's break and give you some points here. Firstly, Getachew Reda once again publicly admitting that his terrorist group's inhuman attack on the Northern Command of the Ethiopian National Defense Force, which mainly the U.S. administration has refused to acknowledge. Secondly, Getachew criticized that the federal government's postponement of the 2020 national election due to the COVID-19 pandemic, citing that it violated the Constitution. We thought that this is total madness. How on earth one disagrees with such decision? It was the situation where the whole globe went into complete isolation and break, and everything seemed to be the end of the world scenario. The federal government had no option except delaying the planned election, which was not a priority matter compared to the spread of the deadly virus. This also shows who cares for the people of Ethiopia. Thirdly, Getachew boldly said that Tigray went ahead with its own regional elections, though the government decided to postpone it. Was this not a violation of the national constitution? The federal government has full authority over the regional states, and they should submit themselves to its governance. Otherwise, there is no way to call Ethiopia a one country. No peace, no stability, and no development where there is no submission to the authorities above. If you violate this, you would reap the consequences of your rebellious actions. But the consequences of the rebellious actions of the TPLF damaged the whole country so badly in every aspect. Getachew continued to say that Tigray is in the midst of a calamitous humanitarian crisis. He quotes the estimates of the UN saying that 100 truckloads of supplies, food, non-food items, and fuel must enter Tigray daily to reach the millions of people in need of humanitarian assistance. Based on this estimate, Getachew added, since July 12th, over 25,000 truckloads of supplies should have arrived in Tigray. In reality, according to figures provided by the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, only 1,339 trucks have arrived in Tigray, representing about 5% of the supplies required to meet increasing needs. The Abiy and Isaiah's regimes have left a long trail of evidence confirming their use of hunger as a tool of war. Let's break here a little bit. The federal government had declared the unilateral ceasefire last June for the purpose of the humanitarian aid entry and the farming activities to be conducted safely during the rainy season for Tigray farmers. But the TPLF spoiled this opportunity by intensifying its expansions to southwards to Amhara and Afar regional states, and committed several atrocities in the region for 5 months until November 2021. Furthermore, the terrorist group claimed earlier that the retreat of the federal government's troops was by their force, not due to the government's humanitarian unilateral ceasefire. Moreover, the group used the humanitarian aid trucks and employees to execute its military activities. Surprisingly, over 1,000 trucks of the UN humanitarian trucks entered into Tigray disappeared, and yet the UN turned blind eye and deaf ear about the concerns. On another development, that news are coming to say that the rebellious forces have said they would respect a ceasefire proposed recently by the federal government, and yet they have rather intensifying their usual military operation. Is this group trustworthy? Judge for yourselves.
Are you looking for professional website and secure web hosting services? If so, you have come to the right place. Everything you can imagine is real. For us, impossible is just an opinion. As all our experts are highly professional and friendly, the digital home of your business is in safe hands and no more technical pressure on you. If you require a charity website, we have 20% off. Our team has already delivered great projects with highest standards which our customers always love. We are a forward-thinking team and hunger to deliver more and help. Let's bring your dreams into reality. Get in touch today. Contact at ethiopiatodayofficial.org.
Thanks for staying with us. If you enjoyed our presentation, give us a like and share to your social contacts. And also don't forget to subscribe and tap on the notification bell if this is your first time. Please also check on our collection of favorites on the description section below. See you on our next video. Many thanks. May God bless Ethiopia and its people.